This video is going to recap what the life insurance telesales industry experienced in 2023. Just kind of go over everything that happened and how that's affecting us today. There is a lot of stuff that happened this year, guys. We're going to talk about what agents should focus on in 2024, knowing the current market conditions. And we're going to make some predictions. This will be kind of fun on what could happen to life insurance telesales in 2024. Okay, this is an action-packed episode, guys. I have a lot of bullet points to hit here so I don't miss anything. So I'm going to try and recap all the YouTube videos and put this year in perspective and get a launching point for next year. Okay, so let's start with what we experienced in 2023. All right, spam flags. 52% of agents making calls have their phone number marked as spam. Okay. Watch our video to learn how to monitor and fix your spam flags. This is essential to telesales moving forward, okay? So if you get a call and it says spam likely on your cell phone, you're likely not going to pick it up, right? You have to monitor this. There's software that sends you an email every single day that monitors it automatically so you know if you're flagged as spam or not. And there's, in the video that we have, it'll show you how to fix those spam flags and within 48 hours. In 2023, we also had new carriers and new products as well, and also some discontinued carriers and products. Guys, we had some incredible new products hit the market. Previously, the products that hit the market, they were all kind of catering to the same risk within the same, pricing, and there really wasn't much differentiation. You could pick several carriers and probably do the same, right? So this year we had two really dynamic products hit the market for final expense telesales, at least. That's SBLI Living Legacy. It's approving over 90% of applications, okay, and has true Social Security billing as of this month. Incredible, okay? You have Seek a Life that's approving what usually is graded products as level. So seniors are getting first day coverage where they traditionally be graded with every other carrier. Guys, those are game-changing products right there. Those are different than what has been used before. And look, there's a lot of great products in the market, but we saw some improvements there. And I hope those push the market forward so other carriers kind of adapt and see and kind of push the envelope in product development, okay? I know we got some new products coming up. RNA has their new product coming out next month. We'll see how that goes. It looks exciting. But we also had some carriers, discontinue products. And, notable just last week, the Price Buster that face-to-face agents love, KSKJ, it would beat everybody's rates, was discontinued because of persistency issues. So they tracked for more than, I think, a 90% persistency from what I'm reading. And it wasn't hitting that mark that they thought it would hit with a Price Buster product. So, there's a lot of carriers that came in and out of the market, a lot of products that came in and out of the market. Overall, it was a good thing when you factor in those two products that hit the market. Okay. You have better processes for telesales. Guys, text to sign boomed in 2023. Okay. You had Prosperity Life. I loved it when they got their text to sign. Same thing with Mutual of Omaha, fixing their application, doing text to sign with that instant decision. This tells me with all these carriers adapting to text to sign, that telesales is a major part of their focus moving forward. They're catering to us. That's a big signal. Take that as a signal, okay? So it's great for 2023 for telesales. We also saw in 2023 more consolidation of IMOs and agencies, okay? IMOs and agencies are selling out to the Integrities and the AmeriLifes and the other PE-backed firms. And, they're all kind of blending into the same offering, right? Same access to technology. They get a new piece of technology that, all the IMOs that are under them are talking about it, right? And saying they have access to this new technology. And there's been nothing game-changing yet, at least. You have leads, right? All doing the same leads. Like they're all getting access to the same leads, the same vendors that they approve. They all have access to the same back office stuff. But the big signal here, and I know most of you are like, okay, how does this affect me? This doesn't matter. Here's how this affects you. Not many agencies are truly independent anymore. Those IMOs that sold out need permission to write new products. So those couple of products that we talked about, they're not going to be sold by those agencies. They need to get approved, and maybe some agencies will get approved, but it has to go through all this bureaucratic white tape to get approved for just the agency to sell it, right? There's it's it's making the industry become like those agencies, and within the telesales realm, just kind of the same. Okay, they can't go out and be nimble like independent agencies can and go test a new lead source. They have to go get approval from daddy PE company to test something. Okay, innovation is just getting stifled. And yes, they're doing the innovation at the top, but the true innovation comes from the agents and the agencies in the trenches. That's where it should happen. That's what I've always believed. And it's not, in my opinion, the consolidation of IMOs, just look out for that. You're not going to get the same innovation, in my opinion. Okay. So you have that. And and so you do get on their side, you get access to some exclusive products that, other agencies, they would need to go under them, right? But the thing is, the products that are out there that where these big PE-backed IMOs have, they're not that competitive. There's nothing that we don't have access to that can do better than them. I mean, our products can do just as much as they can, even more. So there's really not a competitive edge to agents in those agencies that are owned by those big private equity-backed companies. At least not for life insurance telesales, okay? Maybe for Medicare, but not for life insurance telesales. We also had the FCC ruling that happened this month, okay? So this happened earlier this month, and basically it means lead vendors can only sell to one agent or agency that's listed on the web form. Now, this is going to be enforced in early 2025. Okay, initially it was going to be a 6-month implementation period, but now they just moved it last week to 12 months. And what does this mean for agents moving forward? Let's talk through that. Number one, shared leads will be gone. Done. Okay? They can only distribute a lead to the person on the web form. They can't sell it to somebody else. Has to be one person on there. And if there's more than one person on there, they could put more than one person on there, but they have to check boxes then of who they want to contact them. That's not going to work. Okay? So shared leads gone, aged leads gone. And here's what that means. And this is where you need to pay a lot of attention if you're taking live transfers or pre-qualified callbacks that are generated by overseas call centers. Okay. Those agencies and those lead vendors, their backs are going to be against the wall come early 2025. Okay. They are going to, they work all aged leads. That's what they're calling them. That's the majority of the data they're calling on. All right. What happens is a lead is generated and it's sold to somebody else, then it's sold to somebody else, and then it's just kind of sold out there for, pennies at some point. And, you're just pounding on these leads, getting them to pick up the phone and call. And that's how we're generating transfers. They're not going to be able to do that anymore. It can only go to one person, one agency. All right. So anybody who has a live transfer platform right now, if you're working live transfers, prepare for your pivot in 2024. Okay. I don't care what your agency is telling you. They are going to have a significant change because their acquisition cost is going to go up. Their lead cost is going to go up, and they're going to have to make a change. And I know some of the savvy agencies, they're going to pull through this. They'll figure it out, right? But at what cost? It will get more expensive for them. This way of doing business will be gone, and I love it. Okay. So don't believe for a single second, because I hear agencies that are dependent on this saying, oh, it's not going to affect us. Guys, they're just trying to keep you for the next year until it blows up in their face. Okay. I have no doubt savvy agencies are going to pull through this. I know a lot of talented people in the business that are already preparing for this in a year, and we'll see what happens. But overall, this FCC ruling, it's great for the industry. I love it. It's going to clear out the vendors taking advantage of agents and reselling the leads. Okay, that you thought was an exclusive lead, but in the fine print, it says they can sell the lead again after X amount of time, all right? It's going to really help all of telesales in general, because seniors are not going to be bombarded by calls anymore. That lead is not going to be sold over and over again, right? They fill out a form and it goes to somebody, then it goes to somebody else, and it's just resold to everywhere. and it keeps getting transferred. They keep calling on us to get transferred. And that's the thing with live transfers. You may get a transfer today, it's exclusive to you, but somebody else from another call center is calling on that same lead because it's all shared. Like everybody's calling on that same data. That's what we found when we were doing transfers. That's why we got out of it. And that day of reckoning is coming. So be prepared, okay? So that's kind of what happened in 2023. A lot happened, okay? Let's talk about what agents should focus on in 2024, because it is becoming increasingly difficult to make life insurance telesales work. So you're fighting against, at the beginning of the year, the biggest issue was TCPA litigators, right? Making sure your leads were TCPA compliant. You had a lot of litigators suing agents for calling on them illegally. Then you had spam flags. So now, telesales, you have to monitor your phone numbers that you're dialing from to make sure you're not flagged as spam and learn how to remediate it. Okay, that's something we didn't have to do last year that we have to do this year, right? And agencies that are not training agents to do that, I don't get it. Okay, are you actually in telesales if you're not doing that? That is critical to telesales right now. You have sensationalized marketing. I mean, agents are getting pulled in so many different directions by these outlandish claims of closing percentages. I have these leads and I have this process and I'm the best here, right? It's hard to navigate that because social media has become so prevalent. You can email blast any agent. You can buy lists of agents and you're probably getting bombarded in email and LinkedIn and everything, right? So you have agents just questioning everything, right? Because, well, shouldn't this work or that work? Because I read this or I saw this agent did that. It's terrible out there, okay? I mean, it's hard to be successful when you can't focus on a single thing. So sensationalized marketing, like that's plaguing the industry right now. You have the FCC ruling. You have carriers coming and going from the market, changing their products out. Guys, all this change, all these dynamics, that didn't happen in 2022. This is happening in 2023 more aggressively. And it's going to weed out most telesales agencies by 2025. Okay? You can no longer just buy leads from any lead vendor, find a script, make the dials, and make a profit. The conditions have changed. Seniors are different because they're getting bombarded with calls now. You've got to build more rapport. Okay? I'm going to talk about that in a second. You just have to be more intentional and data focused. So here's what I mean here. There's three things I believe agents should do that agents should focus on in order to overcome all this stuff, right? Because we have to change. We have to develop ourselves because of the changing dynamics in life insurance telesales. So, I mean, this one's a little cliche, but the number one thing, or one of the things of the three I'm going to mention, you need to become a master of your presentation and connect more with your prospects. So seniors have their guard up now more than ever. They're getting bombarded by phone calls. And they are, being preyed on by scammers out there, not just insurance, but just in general, right? And so they have their guard up. And you really have to build up trust more than you did years before, okay? And you really have to set yourself apart. Transactional agents are going to struggle in 2024. If that's still you, if you're saying the same thing that you have for the previous couple of years, you got to make some changes in 2024. You got to connect better with your prospects. I know a lot of agents that have been successful in telesales that have been struggling this year, but they were successful the previous few years. And it just, listening to the calls, they're just not connecting like they were. These are transactional agents, and it's just going to get worse. Okay. So you need to be able to connect over the phone with seniors. The market conditions are so that, it needs to be trained on. You need to learn that. Okay. And we recognize that the biggest weakness for agents is real-time guidance on a phone call and really just feedback on every call, because you're not in a call center. You don't have a sales manager behind you that's listening to your call and can help you through certain objections, navigate certain situations and all that. And that is how you get better. Okay. Because if you're just making your calls and you're not evaluating what you said or changing things up, like you should be, and I say this in a lot of videos, you should be listening to a call of yours every single day from the previous day. That's how you get better and you make changes. You're going to hear your voice. You're going to hear some of the ways you respond to people, and you're going to make some of those changes, okay? Every conversation is a way to test your sales abilities and just push it to hit your income goals. That's how you have to see this business, okay? And so around March March of this next year in 2024, Digital BGA is going to fix that with AI technology that's going to be listening to every single call. It's going to give you real-time guidance, right? It's going to, if there's an objection that comes up from your prospect, it's going to tell you exactly what to say. If it brings up a carrier, that they have, it's going to tell you exactly what to say. If like any situation, you're going to have real-time guidance on what's working. And the AI is telling us what's working. It's listening to every single phone call in our call center right now, gathering data, telling us what's working and what's not working. And we're going to be giving that to agents in real time in March. Okay. So that's what's coming in 2024 for Digital BGA. We already have it launched in our call center. We're fine tuning it. And we believe that this is going to be a complete game changer because we know 2024, you need to become a master of your presentation. And it's hard to do that if you don't have a mentor that's working with you all the time, okay? You need to be able to connect with your prospects. So number two, so that's the first thing. Number two, what you need to focus on in 2024. You need to be more data focused. Okay, this is big. Please hear me out here. Pay close attention. Forget about sales percentage. Okay, forget about it. And what we really need to be tracking is net effective close rate. That's what's important. And that's what you should be tracking in 2024 moving forward. So net effective close rate, this isn't what you sell, right? It's what actually places, what successfully drafts. So let's think about this for a second. An agency is promoting a 25% close rate on their leads. Let's just call it live transfers, just because we were talking about it before. 25% close rate on their live transfers. And that means nothing to me. But it means everything to agents out there because they're being recruited to a program because somebody hit that for a week or a day or whatever, right? And so they go, but what they don't know is what that agent actually placed in force, okay? Let's say they had a 25% sales rate, but 40% of that placed. That's a net effective close rate of 10%, all right? Now let's think about an agent that's writing 18% of their leads, right? They sell 18% of their leads, but they're placing 75% of their business in force. That's a net effective close rate of 13.5%. That agent, if everything being the same, is making 35% more in profit than the agent who's closing at 25%. All right. So most agents would see that 25% sales rate and assume that agent is incredibly successful. But in the example I just said, they're not as profitable as the agent selling at 18%. Okay. Most agents in the industry need to take a hard look at this. We need to stop glorifying the sales percentages and start talking about the net effective close rate. What's actually placing of those leads? What are you getting paid on? How many families are you actually helping, right? You're going to be a lot more profitable by tracking this, okay? You're going to make better decisions. I'll bet you some of you go to your go-to carriers right now, go look at your placement rate. I'll bet you half of the agents watching this video right now are between 40 to 50% range. If you just wrote a different carrier, you could be in the 60, 70, 75% range just by swapping out the carrier, okay? So you can be a lot more profitable if you can learn that. If you can, make the decisions on what carriers you're writing based on placement. Learn how to pivot effectively if something gets declined, okay? Focus more on placement, getting that stuff placed, verifying banking information, getting cash with that, right? Getting that payment immediately and then getting the future draft. Then just making a sale, okay? That's the problem most agents have. They just make the sale and they assume that payment that they put out, 30 days in advance is going to pay. There's a lot to it that you have to do to build your placement rate up, all right? So net effective close rate, how you can track that. Get all your sales in a spreadsheet, okay? Every single sale you made, right? And what happened with it, okay? So what actually placed? So you're looking at placement rate per client. You're not looking at the carrier's placement rate. You're looking placement rate per client, okay? So you have the number of how many leads you took, and then all the sales you made from that. So say you closed 18%, and how many of those actually placed in force. That's your net effective close rate. You got to do it manually, all right? Focus on that number. You will be a more profitable agent because you're going to find that placement rate is the single biggest weakness in most of your businesses right now. All right. Guys, there's a lot more to placement, obviously field underwriting and things like that. But I want agents to focus on that number because that's what truly matters, and stop focusing on sales rate because that to me, it means nothing. I've already tuned all that stuff out. You hear people saying that they have a 50% close rate on calls over 10 minutes, or they have a 33% close rate on a live transfer with a 5-minute buffer. I mean, that doesn't mean anything to me. What matters is what actually places. Okay, what happens behind there. So focus on that because you can sell less. Sell less leads and be more profitable because you're selling the right way. All right, so. Another piece of data that you need to really track in 2024 is, your contact rate, especially if you're dialing on outbound leads, because that's going to tell you if you're flagged as spam or not. If you're not paying for a service that tells you if your number's flagged as spam, you really need to track your contact rate as well, because agents go out of business every single day and they blame it on the leads, but really their numbers marked as spam and all the calls they were making never had a chance to connect. All right. It's a big thing. You really got to monitor that. All right. So number one, you should focus on just mastering your presentation and connecting more. Number two, you need to be more data focused. And the third one is you need to be nimble in 2024. You can't be married to your lead carrier. A lot of you guys are married to your highest commission lead carrier. Okay. You have to ride the waves. You need to ride the trends of what's working out there and not necessarily what your upline suggests. Okay. So hear me out here. Carriers can pull levers on how much risk they accept and don't accept in their underwriting engines. Okay. And so some carriers, we see lots more declines trend over time. And we're like, okay, we need to move away from that carrier because they're obviously stricter on underwriting, even though it's the same application with the same underwriting guides, right? We're just seeing more declines. And, then carriers that are just loosening up and taking more risk. You have to keep a pulse on that stuff. And you can get a pulse on that stuff in your agency chats. If you have one, listen to your upline's data. We share our data with our agents all the time because it's that important. We have a vested interest in making sure that all agents have that data. So, for example, I know I mentioned SBLI Living Legacy before, but right now you're going to place more final expense business with SBLI because they approve 90% of policies where you answer no to all the health questions, okay? And they just got true Social Security billing. So they're now our lead product. Before we had different lead products. Before December, like we were focused on some other lead products, and now this one is really affecting our net effective close rates because 90% approval and now true Social Security billing. The 90% approval was working, but they were having issues with their billing prior to December. Now it's fixed and we're seeing much better placement rates and agents are making more money because of that. Okay, these are the things you need to be nimble, right? You need to be able to make those switches. We're going to ride the trends of what's working, like where we're going to profit the most and where agents are going to profit the most. And you got to be willing to do that. You can't just be married to your, if you're in an MLM company and you're selling America, you just can't be married to America because you get paid 15 points more comp, right? Check your placement rate. If that's low, are you really earning 15 more? Like at what expense of those applications that you worked hard for getting declined? All right. So beyond that, as far as being nimble, there's going to be a lot of technology that comes out in 2024 as well, that you should be nimble enough to adopt what's coming our way with this whole AI revolution. So, so number one, for 2024, guys, master your presentation, connect with more people, be more data focused, and you need to be more nimble. Now let's talk about predictions for 2024. This is going to be fun. I believe we're going to see more consolidation. So agencies are either getting acquired or partnering up for more or better resources because this industry is becoming more difficult to navigate because of all the things I just mentioned, right? In addition, you have, if you're face to face, you have direct mail prices, like the cost of direct mail is going up and response rates are going down. Okay, so lead costs keep rising, so they're being squeezed. Okay, you have the FCC placing limitations for online marketing. You have spam flags, okay, that need to be trained on. You just have a serious debt roll-up problem that's plaguing the industry. Agents may not hear about it, on boots on the ground, but on the IMO level and the carrier level, like that is a serious issue. And there's a lot of fraud going on as well. And agencies are getting hit pretty hard. And so all that to say that they're getting, it's in their best interest to consolidate, to sell, because the market conditions are changing. And where they may have been successful up until, a year or two ago or whatever it is, but with the current market conditions, it's completely different. It's a lot more restrictive. And so we're going to see more consolidation. All right. I think that there's going to be a rise of LOA demand. So license only agent demand. What that means is a free lead, reduced comp program. So I said it before in what I consider our best video on YouTube that can help the most agents. It's called the Life Insurance Telesales Growth Ladder. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's not the best produced video, but it's got the best information that can guide you, okay? In that video, we say we believe that most agents should be in a free lead LOA program to develop their skills and get that experience and earn a good income at the same time, not take the financial risk that you're taking by buying leads and selling, okay? So, LOA has a bad rap in the industry. Because and the thing is, it shouldn't get a bad rap because it produces some of the highest performing agents. And most agents value being an entrepreneur or business ownership more than, over kind of a risk-free income and building their skill sets over time. So that's how I built my own skill sets. And I'm a huge believer in this, guys. That, I spent 2 years in a life insurance call center back in around 2008. Sold a couple thousand policies during that time. And I overcame any sort of call reluctance I had. I became a master at field underwriting and talking to people and connecting with people on the phone. I had no hesitation to pick up the phone and call someone, have tough conversations. Like that repetition and that sort of, that's what fueled to where I am today. Okay. And with all the new dynamics that we just shared, more agents are going to want that structure. They're going to want that free lead program where they can earn six figures with no financial risk from home. And what that means is there's a big opportunity for agencies who have their strategies figured out. And what I mean who have their strategies figured out is, guys, this business, all this is a math problem. This business is just a big math problem. You just need to know your numbers and work those numbers. Like what optimizations can you make to get better and work those numbers. If you, even for the agent that doesn't make many calls, right? So maybe your contact rate, instead of being 30% on leads, it's 5% because it's not working for you, right? So, but those are numbers, right? So you work the math on that. You're not willing to make those calls. So what do you need to do, right? All this business is a math equation, and the agencies that have it figured out are growing quickly. Okay. Net effective close rate that we talked about is a big number. Focus on that. A lot of agencies they're both focused on leads and things like that. But if you focus on placing those policies in your scripting and your processes and everything, guys, you can build an LOA agency because there's going to be a huge demand for it starting in, I mean, there's a big demand for it right now, but agents are going to want free lead programs. And there's not going to be so many of them out there. It's going to be hard to find. And if you can figure that out, it's a huge opportunity in 2024 for you. All right, the last thing I'll talk about here for predictions for 2024 is AI adoption is going to happen, and it's going to make agents more efficient and effective. So I'm excited for this AI boom, but I want agents to understand two things here about AI. There's two types of AI, okay? There's autonomous AI, where AI takes action without any human interaction. This is your chatbots. This is your IVRs where you're talking to an AI assistant. These are software programs that go out and do things. They run reports or execute on, these bots doing things automatically, right? That's autonomous AI. That's not going to replace us, right? That's the first type of AI. The second type of AI is hybrid AI. And this is what our industry is adopting, okay? So hybrid AI it produces a result where it needs to be actioned by a human. So ChatGPT, for example. Everybody knows ChatGPT. If you haven't, did a video on it. And a human needs to prompt it. It doesn't work without human prompts, right? That's hybrid AI. So our industry will always be a hybrid AI, okay? Where licensed agents will be needed. We're just going to be using the AI tools to become more efficient. So right now, I believe that agents should be building their competence in AI through ChatGPT. It's just the most basic entry-level thing you can do. Instead of going to Google, go to ChatGPT. It's free. However, I think agents should pay the $20 or whatever it is a month for it. I know there's some other ChatGPT style products out there, so use those if you want as well. But it's guys, it's entry level AI that if you start using it and believing in it more, it's going to open you up to what's out there and be excited for what's to come. All right. But I think AI is going to shake up the industry in 2024. And, I predict that there will be something better than Go High Level that comes out. A lot of the industry is building CRMs on Go High Level, which is great. We have a Go High Level platform for our ACA platform. Works great. Nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying with AI, it's going to change things for the CRM landscape because of all the things that you're going to be able to do with it. I think there's going to be new lead generation strategies using AI. I'm on wait list for so many different AI platforms that I just can't wait to test. There's so many things you can do out there. In general, at the end of 2024, AI is going to make us more efficient and effective as life insurance agents. So guys, that's all I got. Let me know if you agree with any of these predictions. Do you have any other predictions? Happy to have some discourse on that. Share your own thoughts on what 2023 meant and what it means moving forward for the life insurance business. All that to say, guys, it's going to be an exciting 2024. I know things have changed a lot in 2023, but it's all good things if you're on top of it. All right. Cheers to a successful 2024.